Hello, welcome to my channel, Grey Owl Mindset Mentor. My name is Ian Michael Pankhurst. Would I be right in assuming that you're watching this video because you want to make some more money? Good. Then you're on the right channel. Let me make it clear from the outset, this is not intended to be a motivational video. And what do I mean by motivational? Well, my definition of motivation is that, there are my two thoughts around motivation. First and foremost, I don't believe that anyone can motivate anyone else. That may seem a very sweeping statement to make, but motivation really can only happen from oneself. You can only self-motivate. Because to really motivate someone, you need to know what their needs are. You need to know what motivates them. And I don't know what motivates you, or for that matter, anybody. It's all different to everybody, isn't it? No, I want to consider this video to be inspirational. Just before I go on to that, to make it easier for you to understand what motivation is, I'd like to put up a little clip here for you to break the word down. Motivation, quite simply, is, well, if we break it down into two words, let's break it down into the word motive and then the word ation, which sounds a little bit like action. So a motive is a reason. We hear, don't we, that people had a motive to murder, they had a motive to steal, okay? And action is the action they take to achieve it. I don't know whether that's a very good definition, but anyway, motivation is something which comes from within, not from without. Inspiration, on the other hand, is a totally different situation and it has more meaning. It's more meaningful. So what is inspiration? Inspiration is the process of being mentally stimulated to do or feel anything, especially something creative. Now, what makes you feel that I am the right sort of person to inspire you? Well, at 83 years old, I think I can safely say I've seen quite a bit of life. More importantly, I've seen a lot of life related to business, related to success. And the journey that you're about to go on, I've been there, I've done it, yeah? And I've had my ups and I've had my downs, I've had my struggles, I've had my success, I've had my failures, I've had my frustrations. So I know that I can give you some very, very good advice in this video. So what are we all searching for in this life? Well, the answer to that is pretty obvious and I think very simple. We're striving for health, wealth and happiness. Would I be right in saying that? What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to talk you through what I consider to be the major things, the things which are absolutely essential if you're going to be successful in starting a new business, if you want to make more money. And I'm going to rely on an old saying that I learned many years ago. It's actually a saying that comes from a poem by a man, my memory serves me correct, Rudyard Kipling. And it goes like this: I keep 6 honest men, they taught me all I know. Their names are what, why, when, and how, where, and who. So why do I think that saying is so important? Well, it's really for two reasons I think it's very important. First of all, It's a very, very good way of learning a subject, any subject. It's a very good way of communicating with people. And in this video, I certainly want to be able to communicate with you. So I'm going to actually use that as the foundation of how I'm going to impart my knowledge and advice to you in this video. So let's start with the first of the list, what? First question you should ask yourself is, what am I hoping to achieve in my life? And what is your short-term goal? Quite simply, is to make some more money. And that's a very worthwhile goal. I thoroughly endorse that. By using the what, why, where analogy, we can't really stop with saying, what is it we want to do? Because part of the mechanism of success is finding out why we want to do it. Now, I know that may seem a totally stupid question, but it all comes back again to this inspirational v motivational angle. I could make a video about me driving my Porsche and diving into my swimming pool and my 6 weeks in the Bahamas. I don't necessarily think it would motivate you. Videos like that certainly do not motivate me. But I think from the inspirational point of view, telling you my experiences, how I overcome difficulties, I think that's more inspirational. But you see, you must know the reason why you want to do what you're doing. In other words, what is your motivation? Why are you going to do? Let's take your immediate short-term goal. We can put this very simply, can't we? What you want to do is to get more wealth, you want better health, and ultimately you want happiness. We all want that in life. It's a very, very human, natural desire. So let's see if we can delve a little bit deeper in what do we mean in these three areas, because it is three separate areas, although they are linked. Health, this is according to the dictionary definition, health is a person's mental or physical condition. A couple of little important things about that definition. Note how the word mental comes before the word physical. What is wealth? Appears a simple question, but again, going back to the good old dictionary, wealth is an abundance of valuable possessions or money. Again, we need to look at this a little deeper than just purely the written saying. It puts possessions before money. So let's get to the last part of the equation. What is happiness? Wow. There are many, many definitions that you could define happiness. Happiness to one person may not be happiness for another. But if I had to choose one of what I think is the most pertinent definition of happiness, I would say it is this. Happiness is the absence of having to strive for happiness. It's good, isn't it? I believe there are two types of happiness. There is, if you like, moments of happiness. You could be happy one minute and not the next. But the happiness that I want to refer to is what I call true happiness, lasting happiness. I'm happy. I'm happy. I am truly happy, and my happiness is a lasting happiness. So for me, this is what happiness means. Having no worries, having no fears, not having to worry about whether I can pay a bill if it arrives, knowing that my future is secure, having no bitterness, having no regrets, no envy, and very important part of happiness, I believe, does relate to money, and that is having some money in the bank for that proverbial rainy day. Okay, so earlier on in my introduction, I mentioned that what your goal should be. Goals, in my humble opinion, should be classified in three categories, really: short-term goals, medium-term goals, and long-term goals. And in this video, I haven't got the time to go into the art, if that is what it's called, of goal setting. I know there are many books and articles and videos and what have you about goal setting, and it is very important. But suffice to say, at this stage, we're talking about short-term goals, okay? Now, one thing I'd like to make perfectly clear, if you don't already realize it, and I'm sure you do, that to achieve any goal short term, it's not going to happen. You set a goal and you achieve it the next day. It isn't going to happen that way. Success doesn't happen overnight. We know that, don't we? But I think we have to accept fully that we have to make a goal, find out how we're going to reach that goal, and then move on to our middle term goal. So let me give you what may come as a surprise to a lot of people, what your first goal really should be. It shouldn't be, I want to be wealthy. It shouldn't be, I want to be rich. Now, there's nothing wrong in these as medium and long-term goals, which will perhaps come clearer to you as we go on. Short-term goal, in my opinion, and having studied this for many years now, of why some people are successful and why others are not, it's a proven scientific fact that to become wealthy, you first of all have to become financially free. Now, what does that mean, financially free? To a teenager, financial freedom could mean leaving home, moving into your own apartment, cutting off your ties with the mum and dad bank, as the saying goes, and earning enough to keep yourself and not having to worry too much about money. To other people, more mature people, it's about having enough money to put food on the table and a roof over your head. It's the first level of motivation, really. Now, why am I saying this? Why do I think this is most important? In fact, I would almost call it the vital step to becoming wealthy and becoming successful. Because you see, if you haven't got freedom, and specifically financial freedom, how can you really concentrate, put all your effort into making more money? There's an old saying that goes something like this. It says, most people are too busy making a living to be able to make a fortune. And there's an awful lot of truth in that. And I know, I've been there. And we talk about inspirational and motivational. I mean, how can you motivate yourself to do better things when you're having to worry about how you're going to pay bills, how you're going to do all sorts of things just to survive? So I'd like to spend just a few minutes here explaining how we can achieve financial freedom. And it goes back to our questions of who, why, where, and when. One of the questions we need to ask ourselves when looking at our goals, we found out what we want, we found out why we want it. But the third part of the equation is when. When should we want it? Well, I believe the answer to that question is you should strive for this goal when you're financially independent. so that you have the time and the energy and the motivation to be able to concentrate on your objective. If one had to put a chart up to map one's progress, everything that I read about successful people and the things that inspire me, the fact that they all start from one place. They all start from being poor. Yeah. Now, by poor, I don't mean necessarily to be impoverished. I don't mean that they're absolutely at rock bottom. Poor, you may not believe this, but a rich man can be poor. That takes some understanding, doesn't it? Poor is spending more money than you earn. It means you cannot afford the things that you really want because you're not earning enough to do it. Now, that may be an oversimplification, but to achieve wealth, you first of all have to be poor. I love inspirational stories about people who started from being very poor. What doesn't necessarily motivate me is people who tell me how wealthy they are and what it's like to be wealthy. What I would really like for them to tell me is what it took to become very, very wealthy. I'm going to start to summarize somewhat because I know that your time is limited. So let me summarize points that I've tried to communicate with you over these last few minutes. First of all, find out what it is you want. Find out how you're going to do it. I'd like to leave you with something which has inspired me beyond words. It is the most inspirational thing I have ever read, and I want to share this with you. It goes like this: grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I think that's absolutely brilliant, because all of us at some time in our life think of things as impossible when in reality they're not. One word I just like to make reference to in that saying, in that quote: wisdom can be defined as having experience, knowledge and good judgment. So my friends, that is really the message for you today. If you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Any comments I would welcome. I will be bringing out more videos every week. And if you stick with me, stick with your goals. Don't let people put you off. Your goal is very important. Your life is very important. And you know all the old cliches, but we only get one life. And we owe it to ourselves, to our family, to society, to do the best we can. I know that you're capable of much more than you're doing. I really do know that. So thanks for staying with me. Thank you in advance for your comment, and I would suggest very strongly that you subscribe to this channel. Okay, so once again, I wish you every success, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.